Hey guys, my name is AJ. This is John Jen over there, and we have Danny Olson here.
What's up, guys?
Cruise. So we're gonna talk about today Groove Cruise, everything else, and anything else you want to talk about, man. So we'll start with how's your journey on Groove Cruise been so far? I know it's only been a few hours, but
initially I was very overwhelmed. I like to think that I can handle any multitude of chaos and stress and all that, and then eating dinner or eating lunch in the dining hall, I'm just like, this is a lot. It's my first one, and I haven't been on a cruise in 10 years. And I'm around people like yourselves who have done this multiple times, and it was a lot. You know, I'm like, what's going to happen the next 4 days, right? But then slowly you sort of just talk to people and you realize like, whoa, I'm in this incredible community. Like, this is so cool. This is like, the logistics of a cruise aside, putting a music festival inside that is like, it's mind-blowing, you know?
Absolutely insane, yeah.
Seeing all of it like start to work, and like we board the ship and they're still setting up. They're still building stages. You know, they're still like creating this this experience for us as we're getting ready to enjoy it. You know, it's kind of insane.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, and like the community itself is kind of intertwined. And I don't know if you noticed like the different people wearing themes and all the different outfits out there.
Oh yeah, I noticed.
Anything catch your eye that you liked or didn't like?
There's like 500 people dressed as astronauts. There's a bunch of people dressed as lifeguards. I mean, I had a couple matching t-shirt and swimsuit combos, and I thought like, damn, I'm gonna fucking blow this away. And then I see these people who have like prepped this for like a whole year, and they're coming from different places, and they're all wearing the same thing, and they're all showing up in their glitter, and it's incredible.
It's insane.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, the theme tonight is space. I don't know if you saw the themes.
So that's like a theme for the night.
Yep.
Okay.
For tonight. So they have a theme every day and a theme every night.
Okay.
So usually we hold this off for later in the interview, but since we're talking about it,
sure.
If you could pick any theme, what would you pick? Besides space. I feel like we already talked about that, so that's unfair.
All my music is based around.
That's fair. That's true.
Outer space and galactical exploration.
We put you in a box. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that's an incredible one. Another theme. I mean, nature would be a really good one, I guess.
Nature, like poison ivy and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like everybody's dressed. And things that could kill you from nature. Yeah.
Deadly nature. That's actually a great name. I love that.
Deadly nature. There we go.
John, do you have a question you want to ask? Yeah.
Yes, I do. So first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Of course, man.
And also, I completely relate to you. This is my first time on Groove Cruise. I have not been on a cruise in 10 years.
You and I, and maybe Josh, are the only three that have never.
Oh, yeah. It's like a really loyal community. And I was like 17 in high school the last time I went on a cruise, too. So
totally different. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, it's a really cool environment. Also taking the time to explore. And we got here a little bit later, so we went straight to our room. Mm-hmm. You know, now we're out here. We're doing the interviews. So, yeah. Let's start off with just a little bit more about your backstory and sort of like inspirations from earlier in your life. If you want to,
Wow. Yeah. All right.
I know it's a little loaded, but we can.
No, I like it. I love these types of questions. But if I speak past 20 minutes, just like punch me, and then, you know,
we're ready.
I can reel it back. So the thing about my artistry is that I've loved the dance community since I was, 16, sneaking into 18 and up nightclubs in the Chicago area. And back then, because I'm so old, it was everything from Europe was coming in. It was all Euro dance from like Germany and Sweden and France. And these nightclubs in the suburbs of Chicago were like, 140 techno, you know what I mean? Or like Euro dance back then. Like nothing was in the US yet. Like Afrojack and David Guetta, like that wasn't a thing yet. I fell in love with like nightclubs and performing, and I would DJ, middle school dances and stuff like that. And I loved being in front of people. But it wasn't until college that I was like, well, I love doing that, but now I love writing music. So I'm like, what is this world? Like, I don't want to just be a DJ. I want to like create. And I had my major in film scoring. So I was doing cinematic music already, and I loved, creating music for movies and like bringing, other media to life, doing movie trailers and stuff like that. But I love DJing, and these are two very different worlds. You either are a DJ or you are a composer. So I sort of was just like, why don't I create a brand in a world that sort of like has both of these things inside them. Because as I found, the music I was writing, cinematic music, you know, I later coined the term cinematic bass, where like here's bass music and here's beautiful, make you cry cinematic music. People really resonated with it. And it was sort of already a scene in the melodic community, you know, so it was sort of like, and it still is a journey of like mixing these two worlds and figuring out how do I bring the emotion from film scoring, but also the power and the drops and the energy that exists in electronic music. So
yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. It's a really cool story. And I think, you know, when I was younger and when I first discovered EDM, it was actually right when a lot of like these European guys like just got here and their music videos on YouTube were blowing up.
Sure, yeah.
And I was like home, I was not going out at all. So
Yeah.
it's really cool to hear your story. And you mentioned something really interesting, which is kind of blending two different genres and creating like a new vision for that. So as you first started to explore this concept, were there some things that just worked really well together, and were there some other things where you had to like do a little bit more like finagling to try to like create something that like joined these two different worlds?
I mean, to be honest, it's an ongoing problem because I'm constantly in the battle of like, am I making music that is true to me and that other people will still enjoy, you know, because like you have to play to so many different fields. Like it would be amazing to just do exactly what you wanted. And then everybody that listened to it and A&Rs and business, the business side of music all resonated with it. But like, we're in such an age where you have to like test what you're doing in a social sense to see like, is there a market for this? You know what I mean? It has a business background to it. So that's an ongoing challenge because I'm always trying to like be in the middle of staying true to what I want to do in my vision and also have success. Because like if there weren't for platforms like Neon Owl, you know, that elevate artists that are still coming up and like creating their vision, everything else is just doesn't make money. You can't book venues and play cruises and if you don't bring in tickets because everything is capitalism, everything is money. Like those businesses have to make money. So to me, like the things that worked are writing music that is emotional and that resonates with me and that finds sort of an emotional core. And then the challenge is still like fitting that inside of an industry that is very consumer based, you know? And I don't know if a lot of people still like cinematic music or even like it yet because, you know, I'm trying to like push that line and find sort of an angle, but yeah, I mean, it's ongoing, but it's still rewarding, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing. And it's like, I know there's a lot of trends in, you know, dance music like every year.
Yeah.
You know, maybe in cinematic music, like maybe there are some directions too, or some, you know, composers who kind of have an outsized influence. So yeah,
There definitely are, right?
It'll be cool to see like how that affects like, you know, the growth of a genre and if other producers kind of explore that sound as well. So
Sure. Oh yeah,
I'm going to
absolutely.
be passing it on to AJ for
Cool.
any more questions.
Sure. All right.
So you talked about the whole composer and producer thing. Do you still compose on the side? Do you still do things that aren't electronic music for fun, or do you do that for money? What is the direction you put that outside of the Danny Olson artist brand? Is there?
Sure. Yeah. Actually, I do a lot of work outside of the electronic side. Mainly, it's writing for big movie trailers. I do a lot of sports, you know, like you go to a home game and they play the big Jumbotron and there's music that's blasting. Like I do a lot of that in arena. Mother. Just kidding. We're good. The ship is not sinking. Yeah, so that's
yeah. So go ahead.
That's a big financial side because the you know festival industry is a bit different in terms of how artists get paid. So the movie trailer and like sync and those sorts of things are a big influence in my brand, both financially and also creatively.
Have you ever taken any ideas that you've made there and made it into like an EDM song or vice versa?
You're going to hear some tonight and tomorrow, actually. Yeah, I have a few that I'm working on that are fairly orchestral that don't have vocals that I'm just going to test. I'm just going to play. I was writing one more big like trap sort of banger that's in the sense of like R.L. Grime, and it uses like a really short vocal sample that's repeated over and over again. And I wrote that for like a Nike advertisement.
Oh, that's cool.
So I sort of just made it into a song, and I'm like, I think I can like just play this. You know, I'm gonna try. I mean, people leave.
Traffic's
then
back, right? So
yeah, for sure. So there is a lot of crossover because sync music only means synchronized. It means it was used in something. It isn't. It sort of has like a, so to speak, genre, and that it usually means cinematic in nature. But like tons of EDM is synced. You know what I mean? It might be synced in something different. You know what I mean? Like a commercial for Dell or something computer based might use an EDM song and then, hey, it's sync music.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So sort of a colloquial expression.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I appreciate that a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people that say like get sync deals, do that kind of stuff. I mean, if it's a way to get success while also doing something you're passionate about, why
not?
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned your set tonight. You have 2 sets on the cruise, right?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the differences you're going to have between those sets?
Sure. Yeah. I'm glad you asked that question because when I was crafting these originally, I've never been on Groove Cruise, so I was like, well, I'll just play the same set twice, you know, like isn't that kind of what people do? And then when I talked to a few people that have been on Groove Cruise, they're like, no, like you should differentiate it because they're going to be different rooms, but the audience might be the same because, you know, you're in a melodic lineup that's going to be sort of transported to a different night.
Yep.
So yeah, when I heard that it was a good idea to have 2 separate sets, I thought the way that I usually do make my music in terms of like a 60-minute set is I want to create a narrative. Like I don't want it to just be the same energy and the same sound for 60 minutes. I want it to be like a movie in the sense that like you go up, you go down, things are, I mean, not sad, happy, sad. I don't know. The energy can go up and it can die for a minute to build back up to that point. So the way that I thought of doing these 2 hours is starting out sort of more emotional with using a EP that I wrote for my dad who passed away and having the music be more mid-tempo and not, you know, blasting you over the head. It's more like vibey and it has more earth to it, organic. And then like introducing more melodic music. And then the second set sort of like picks up where the first set ends. And that's, you know, harder drops, things that are more intense. The energy is more aggressive, a lot of trap, a lot of melodic bass, but like the drops are harder and they're more in your face. I sort of wanted to like take the whole 2 hours from like really warm and welcoming, which is I think fitting for the first night of the cruise, and then the second night ending somewhere that's like a lot more aggressive and unexpected. So that's kind of how I thought of it.
Love that.
Yeah.
Are they connected or is it just one loosely?
They're not connected in the sense, no, not in any narratives. I mean, in a looser narrative sense, yeah. And there's like 1 or 2 songs that I'm going to be obviously replaying, like some of my bigger ones that people know, you know, like Fix You and some of my remixes that have done well. Like I'll probably be like repeating those, but then there'll be like different versions of those songs with different mashups. And then some of my like bigger songs like Melting, I'll be playing other DJs remixes like Nicodemus and Highland, who are also on the cruise. I'll be playing their versions.
Awesome.
Because they're incredible.
Yeah, we absolutely can't wait for both of your sets.
Thanks,
man. It's going to be a
Yeah.
blast. But yeah, we also wanted to ask you before we wrap up,
Sure.
what are some of the biggest things that you're looking forward to in the new year for your artist project or just life in general?
Biggest things in the new year, honestly, my biggest thing is stepping away from making music because I feel like I have to make it for like a strategic gain, because I'm such a type A person. So much of my brain works in the sense of, how do I fix this problem? Like, how do I get bigger? How do I gain more fame? How do I have more followers? So then I sort of analyze in a non-creative sense, what works, and do I want to make music like that? Does music like that work for me? And I've spent so many years doing that, and it isn't as fulfilling. You know what I mean? So I'm honestly trying to step into making music just for me, and just like making stuff that excites me so much that I can trust in the fact that that will resonate with people and that will get me a platform even further than I already have.
Yeah, totally. And it's like knowing yourself, knowing what, you know, you're really passionate about, and like putting all of that into a song, into an EP, into maybe an album.
Exactly.
One day, right.
And being honest about like, hey, I've done this where I'm like, this song was written with a couple people, but like, it's not like it's okay, but it's not. And then I just release it anyway and it doesn't do well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have to like put my foot down and be like, I either need to make this better or I can't put this out as me, because then my bar needs to be high. My bar needs to be excellence in my eyes.
It's just like a gut feeling. You can't quite put it in words, but you just know when something is
get away from I got to release a song every month. I got to do all this. I have to play the game. Like, if I think about any incredible artists that I look up to, not one of them did that. Even artists that I don't follow as much, you know, Adele, Beyonce, Ed Sheeran, like they're not writing music from a point of like getting it good on TikTok. They're not writing it from a point of like getting views. They're writing it from an honest place. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to step into more this year.
Yeah.
I'm just only doing that and having that be the bar. And even if I release 2 songs in 12 months, people will be like, damn, those songs like really hit me because they hit me first.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's like the authenticity, like the raw emotion, like making sure that's not compromised
exactly.
at all. That's
in any way.
Really respect that.
So that's my goal this year, is to just do that more.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're excited for that. And right before we wrap up, I think AJ has one more fun question. So
fun.
Yeah, so we did the theme question already. So the second fun question is a typical, stereotypical, we always ask it. We want to know, where would you take this boat if you could take it anywhere? Like, logistics aside, anywhere.
So like, it doesn't matter how long it would take?
Doesn't matter. Time
I've always wanted to check out the Bermuda Triangle.
Okay.
Because for some reason in middle school, like everyone was scared shitless of that place, but you never hear about it anymore. And I think it's like pretty close. It's like kind of right east of Florida, right?
Yeah, it's not too far. I mean, and time wouldn't matter there.
I mean, right, because then we just disappear into a black hole and it'd be,
EDM forever.
So yeah, Bermuda Triangle for sure.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
That's it, yeah.
I'm in for the forever cruise, I guess, yeah.
Oh my God.
We'll jump back to like 1958 or something. It'll be fine.
Is that like new show, 1899 or something like that?
Yeah, that show's terrible. Don't watch it. Yeah, the Netflix one is not good. Yeah.
In any case, appreciate you coming on.
Sure.
Thank you, John Jin, for your questions.
Thank you, guys. Absolutely.
Have a good rest of the cruise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You'll see me. Yeah.